Welcome down to another beautiful winter's day here at Lytham in the UK as the hail and the snow comes down. But this video here, we're going to take a little look at the new Cobra F9 SpeedBack 3-wood and also the Tour SpeedBack 3-wood. So just before we jump into the video, if you're enjoying the content I'm putting out there and you haven't subscribed, then smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, get a notification to any future video that lands on my channel. You'll be the very first ones to watch it. Hook up on my social media platforms also, which are Instagram and Twitter, and the handles there are at MN Golf Coach. Okay, so Cobra, they've launched the F9 range and we've seen some good numbers with the driver, some very positive comments from you viewers out there with the performance, and I'm really liking the price point as well as the performance of the driver. So we're going to take a look at the fairway woods. Now there's two offerings here. We've got the King F9 Baffler SpeedBack, which is in that yellow colouring, which was sort of matching up with the driver. Obviously the Baffler was seen in previous models with Cobra with the two rails on the bottom, which I think is a really good advantage to a fairwood as it cuts through that grass. But then there's also a smaller headed version, which is called the Tour one, so F9 Tour, a bit more compact. The weight goes more into the front section of the head, probably promoting a little bit more of a lower launch, lower spin for that slightly stronger player possibly, or a player who likes that smaller profile sat down behind the golf ball. So we're going to test two, we're going to review both. I'm going to start off with the F9 traditional 3-wood in a way. When I say traditional, the sort of standard one, and then we'll move into the Tour and we'll see some numbers at the end. Okay, so F9 fairway wood. This is again adjustable in that neck sleeve, so we've got some loft alterations going up and down. We've also got some draw settings in there. This as standard comes in at 14.5 degrees, and I'm going to play it at 14.5, so standard neck sleeve, which should sit the face pretty square at address. It's got a 3-stroke 4 because obviously if you were lofted in it up, it can move into that sort of forward area, so that's why they call it a 3-stroke 4 fairway. We've got a weighted screw in the bottom, which is a 15 gram weight, the red screw here, which is at a fixed position at the back of the head. So again, that's trying to pull CG down low and back, which is a little bit more of the SpeedBack sort of theme really. What we saw on the drive with that lowered skirt there, but obviously we can't lower the skirt on the fairway wood because of the profile and obviously hitting the ball more off the ground, I'm guessing. But we'll get this first one hit, so obviously very similar appearance to we've seen with the driver, that black gloss finish, yellow logo of the Cobra on the top edge with a little bit of the aerodynamic bumps on the top. Okay, that felt really easy to launch actually. Obviously we're playing off a mat here. It does get it's quite a tight lie to be honest, so this is probably putting that rail design to its sort of test in a way, in terms of trying to, get through the sort of lie in a way, and I think it sort of makes a lot of sense to me as it comes in. It just stabilises the head as it makes sort of contact with the ground. Obviously this is when you're hitting it off the deck. The rails sort of just stabilise and just trying to keep that club working through a square movement coming through the ball. How much it does that I don't know, but it just, to me, it makes a lot of sense, and it feels like I can keep the club squarer coming through that impact area. So in the F9 fairway wood, for the first time we're seeing the CNC milled face. We saw that come out in the F8 driver, obviously continuing F9 driver, but it's now also in the F9 fairway wood. So CNC milled club face. We've got the SpeedBack technology in the head, also combined with previous technology that they've used in terms of the Baffler rails on the bottom. So a little bit more tech packed into this fairway wood, and it's sort of what Cobra's saying, it's aimed at a golfer from the 5 handicap range up to about 25 handicap, which is a massive section there. And I think with that weight pulled down, from what they're sort of saying, it's a little bit more of a forgiving club. Again, as that weight's pulled back and away from the club face, so we know that tends to make the club a little bit more forgiving, easier to launch, and a higher flighted product, which again, where probably the Tour head is giving you that other option. Okay, that's a little bit low in the club face, but it does feel nice off the club face, the feel of it. Again, the sound is really good. We're getting that sort of nice, sort of solid muted sound. It's not a loud, brash, clicky, high-pitched sort of noise. little bit off that bottom of that last shot. But again, feels really good. Very solid off the club face. I like the sound. I like the look of it down by that golf ball. I got to 251. Okay, so let's keep the same shaft. We'll switch the head over into the Tour one and we'll hit some shots with that head. Right, okay, so now I've got the Tour, F9 Tour head on the same shaft. So a little bit different as we look at it. We see a little bit more of a compact head, as you'd expect, so a lot smaller peering behind that golf ball. That can be a little bit less confidence inspiring, so maybe for the golfer who knows the strike's pretty good or likes to look at that smaller compact head, then this might suit their eye a little bit more. So a little bit less from the face to the back edge of the golf club, a little bit more squat sort of design. It sits lovely behind the golf ball, and we've got a little bit of that grey front section with the black gloss at the back. So slightly different look to what we see with the standard F9 head. We've still got a couple little bumps on there, but not as pronounced and not as many. Still got CNC milled face, still got the Baffler rail technology, the SpeedBack technology in here, but now the weighted screw on the sole has now moved all the way to the front of the club. So with that more compact head and the weight going forward, this is moving the CG closer to the club face, which we know should expect to see a slightly lower launch and a little bit of maybe lower spin and just a slightly lower ball flight in general, to be honest. Okay, that was a good strike. A little bit off that toe section, but nothing too severe. Just a little bit of that right hand side, but straight away there, a little bit more distance there. So that got out at 263, similar ball speed. Okay, that felt really nice. So the weighted screw on the bottom is now a 12 gram weight. It was 15 gram in the standard F9 head, but as I say, it's moved into that front section to try and get that spin down. So these tend to suit maybe the better player who obviously can control strike a little bit more, who likes that small appearance and maybe just wanting that little bit lower ball flight. Now, obviously the standard loft option in the Tour head as a 3-wood is 13.5. Again, adjustable neck sleeve, so you can dial this up and down to sort of suit. I've actually popped this up 1 degree to make it 14.5, which was the same as what we saw in the standard F9. Just wanted to hit these together in the same loft. Obviously we've got a different weight position and head size that should maybe change spin number, so I just don't want to alter that with hitting it with the 13.5. So I've upped the loft to 14.5. Okay, that still seems really easy to launch. Definitely getting a different distance number there. That's getting out there 273. So again, not a massive jump of ball speed, but obviously a different spin number there, just under 3,000. That feels lovely. Definitely a little bit more penetrating on that ball flight, and that's a line ball. Whew. That doesn't happen often. Okay, so that was the straightest one I've hit, to be fair. All those shots tend to be a little bit more up that right hand side. Nothing went left there, which is a good thing for me, because many of you know my bad miss is a left. So I like the fact that that stayed a little bit more up that right sort of section of the line. It didn't feel like I could really get that one. That was my bad shot of turning over. Definitely saw a little bit more distance there also, which is good. So let's have a look at some numbers, a little bit more detail between the standard F9 SpeedBack and the Tour version. Right, so look at some numbers. So we've got standard one on the top, Tour one at the bottom. So a little bit slower clubhead speed with the Tour. Didn't really feel that, to be honest, but obviously the second one was quite slow at 106. Again, didn't really sort of feel that. So just under 110 against 112.5. Ball speed, obviously you can see drop, but only dropped by 0.2 of a mile an hour. So considering the club head speed drop, my ball speed didn't drop as much. So ball speed in relation to club head speed, efficiency wise, you can see is a better number. Actually launched the Tour higher than the standard one. I did get a couple of low ones off the bottom of the face, the standard ones, which goes a little bit against what it's sort of promoting. But spin number 4397, again maybe a couple of low strikes, the standard one, and the spin getting definitely lower there, 36 with the Tour version. With that weight moving forward will help to get that number down a little bit more. So carry number 233 against 244, so a good increase of carry distance. Again, that's not through speed there, because obviously I've dropped a tiny bit of ball speed, but come through a little bit of that launch and a little bit lower in that spin is getting that extra yardage there and running out at 262 average against 249. Right guys, there we go. There's the F9 fairway woods, both standard one and the Tour version. So again, loads of adjustability, some good tech in there with that SpeedBack, pulling that CG down low, got that baffler rail. I'm glad they've not got rid of that, because I think that's a really good advantage for a fairway wood, trying to cut through the grass or just trying to keep that club face, club head more stable as it's coming through those two parallel rails that run down the length of the sole. So for me, two good looking clubs. Two clubs that appeal for two maybe separate golfers there in terms of the head size, maybe what they're trying to do with that spin number there, so accommodating definitely two types of golfer. So I think they're covering all aspects there, and maybe the Tour one's a good one if you maybe hitting a fairway wood more off the tee. Strike's pretty good, and you can go into that lower loft option there, so you can drop that down a bit like a backup driver option in a way. So let me post your comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the F9 fairway wood range. Obviously the drive I think has been really strong, so I think Cobra definitely upped the game this year in the woods category for sure. So again, love to hear your thoughts as always. If you haven't subscribed and you enjoy the content, then please do hit that subscribe button, share the video around, hit the like button, follow my social media platforms, and hopefully it will catch up with you all very soon.